What's up guys, it's Kaisan here and welcome back to our Path of Exile tutorial. As usual, at the start we will look at two more rare items that we found in the last episode and see whether they're good or not. This one here, you guys probably can already see, is pretty terrible. There's a couple of stats on it, but most of them don't really do anything. On a weapon you want to have damage, right? And here we don't have any damage. The only damage mod on here is 2 to 4 cold, which is pretty much nothing. The rest, I don't know, it's just not good. Accuracy could be good, but only if you have damage. 6 life gain on kill is not really a great stat. A 10 increased light radius. The only thing that the light radius does is around your characters you can see you have some sort of light. You know, it's darker over here, and if I move over here it gets lighter. And the light radius just increases the area that your character lights up. So it's a wasted stat basically. So this item is crap and we're just gonna sell it. The shield, it's a level 14 and we're at 24 already, so it's a pretty low base for our level right now. Strength is okay. The life roll is actually quite nice. The fire resistance roll is okay. And additional block chance is usually good. What the block chance basically translates to is the chance to block with the shield increases from 26 to 28%, and that means that for melee attacks you basically don't have to worry about 2% of the incoming damage. That doesn't work for spells, so this chance to block on this shield, if a spell is thrown at you it doesn't do anything. For that you need spell block, but you know, if somebody's hitting you, these 2% additional block chance basically negate 2% of the damage that otherwise would have been dealt to you. So that's not bad. So the shield is not bad, but we already have this one in our stash in case we ever decide, you know, to switch to one-hander and shield. And this is level 17. It has 140 armor compared to just roughly 50 here. And it has way nicer stats, so we would never use this, and that's why we can easily vendor this as well. So those two we're just gonna turn into shards. So as I mentioned towards the end of the last episode, what we're gonna do here this time is we will finish the western forest, and then we will head over here as well into this zone, and there's something to do for us as well. So first we'll go over to the western forest again. Just as a quick reminder, because in this area there's mostly fire damage that is coming your way, make sure that you have a decent amount of fire resistance. I only have 30%, which is usually not enough. I put the firing back on to get the additional 5%. If you have more, put on more. It's definitely worthwhile because you have the exploders and you have a lot of fire damage in here, so make sure you have enough. I am having some issues with OBS, so I have to do it this way. By the way, if somebody knows a lot about recording softwares, especially OBS, I have the problem that I kind of have to restart the program, OBS a couple of times. I usually start it as an admin, but most of the times when I want to record something and I press my F8, which is my recording button, I just get a black screen. I get the sound, but I don't really get the gameplay. So, you know, I have to start it over and over and over again, and it seems to be pretty random when it actually works out. So, if somebody knows anything that might help me out, I'd be really grateful. Okay, so what I wanted to say is you take the waypoint to western, you follow the road, and at some point you will find this here, where you have this light this fire burning kind of on the side of the road. And again, as we've seen with the way towards the tree, the roots, you have this somewhat paved road here that you can follow. Oh, a chaos orb. Okay, this is the best currency drop that we had so far. That's actually really nice. So, you'll follow this one. Try not to get killed by exploders. And if you follow this paved road here, just gonna pick everything up here. This will lead you to this encampment. You can see it as like a semicircle on the map. And in here you will encounter one of the bandits. There's 3 bandits that, if you listen to the people in town, they're a threat to the forest encampment, so the town in Act 2. And the people in town basically told you that you should get rid of them, so they don't have to fear them anymore. So your job initially is to kill all 3. But the beauty about this is that you can make a deal with one of the bandit leaders if you want to. And how this works is that if you kill all 3 of them, then if you go back to town and you tell one of the guys in town that you killed all 3 of them, you will get a reward. And that reward, if you kill all 3, will be you get a passive skill point. So you will just get an additional point that you can put anywhere on here. So that's pretty nice. But if you talk to these guys here,
you have a powerful
you can see that they offer you something as well. So it says if you kill Alira, you cannot change your mind. If you help her, you will be permanently granted 40 mana. So she offers you 40 mana if you help her. So now you basically have the 2 options, help and kill. And depending on your build, there's different things that you would choose here and in other difficulty levels. So in the normal difficulty, you get 40 mana from Alira. You get from Oak, which is another bandit, you get sorry, you get 40 life. And from Creighton, I'm not quite sure what you get from Creighton, to be honest. Well, we'll see soon. But we don't care about mana, so we will definitely kill her. So basically, if you talk to her, you can position yourself as you want, you know, in the best way, before you click kill Alira, because once you do, basically all of these guys here will start attacking you. So you should position yourself in a way that once they do, you can already deal damage to, you know, a bunch of them. So I would go here so I can basically deal damage to all of them right here. So I click, and straight away I kill a bunch here and there. Okay, so they're already all dead. So now I'm just gonna go around in circles a bit to kill the rest off. And what Alira does, she has corpse explosion. So if you stand on one of the corpses, here's a corpse, she will explode it, and that deals damage to you. She also has a wand and is shooting at you with the wand, so that's just a regular ranged attack. You can see that right there. And she also spawns Alira's Dearests, and those are zombies that she spawns out of this big cauldron here. You can see that right there. There was just one of them coming out. And there, another one. So she constantly spawns them, and you know, if you kill them, she has another corpse that she can explode. So ideally you want to kill them and not stand on top of them, because then you're taking additional damage. So that's all she's doing. With our damage right now, no problem, we can easily kill her. And we actually level up. Sweet. That's, to be honest, that's perfect timing. We are level 25 now, and in one of the earlier episodes I mentioned that I had issues with trading, because this is a new account and you have to have one character at least at level 25 to be able to trade currency. So at this point we can actually do it. So what I will probably do in this episode as well is give you guys you know, a closer look at trading and an intro in how trading is done most efficiently. And we can also try to get some more of the gems that we need for this build. So let's get this skill point allocated, and we can actually get acrobatics now. So that means we have 30% chance to dodge attacks. We will get, there's a downside to it, because you have 50% less armor and energy shield, and 30% less chance to block spells and attacks. So your block is weaker, you have less armor, so that means if you're hit, you take more damage. You know, because you have less damage reduction, and you have, after the initial roll for the dodge is made, if you don't dodge, there's a higher chance that you take increased damage. But it's still a really good node, because you have 30% of the time you don't take any damage, you just dodge it. So this is pretty huge for us in terms of defense and survivability. So we will get this one, and that's actually an achievement, Paradigm Shift, which if you check it, just means that this is the first major node, like the what did I call it? The keystone passive that we spec'd into. Here we go. Allocate a keystone passive skill. Yeah. Okay, so we killed Alira, and we kinda, I can't really cut anything here just because I'm pretty sure OBS would screw me over, and I'm kinda annoyed by the program right now, so I don't really want to do the cut right now. This should be pretty quick anyway. So you go back to the road and you follow it, you know, just kill stuff until you see this this setup here. It's again like a circle in a sense, and once you get close to it, you will get some blackguard soldiers coming out and trying to kill you. And there's some random soldiers, and there's like this guy here, Captain Arteri, who is the big guy. You know, we can put up our totem here just to distract him while we deal some big damage to him and kill him. And he doesn't really drop any loot. The only thing he drops is the thematic emblem, and you pick that stuff up. Kill the rest of the guys in here. There's probably some left. Yep. And there's a thematic seal here, so it makes sense once we have the emblem to click it. And this basically, if you remember, we had piety blocking our way in, we have to go back to Act 1 actually, Prisoner's Gate in here. She was blocking our way that was going, you know, leading directly to Act 2, and we had to make this detour over Merve's Cavern to actually get into Act 2. And now we opened the way back to Prisoner's Gate, so basically if we wanted to, we could go back into Act 1 this way. Loading screen, okay. And we're back at monster level 11 zone. I mean, obviously, in terms of experience, you know, and items and so on, it doesn't make any sense. But I just wanted to show you guys that This was where we were before, and we didn't have the key to open it. And now from the other side, we were able to open it. And we actually have, where is it? You have opened the blocked pass between the Western Forest and Prisoner's Gate. Talk to Bastille. So now we basically go back to Act 1, to the town in Act 1, to Lion Eye's Watch, and talk to Bastille, and he has a reward for us. This is actually something that a lot of players often forget to get, because it is not in the Act 2 town, so you actually have to go back. And it's easily overlooked, so you know, don't make the same mistake, go back, because it is actually a passive skill point that you get. So as you can see, I went back to Act 1, and here we have Bastille waiting for us. So just talk to him, and you will get a Book of Skill, which you can use to get your skill point. And that one, well, we want to go to Trickery as well to get some more elemental damage. And what we also want is to go down here as quickly as possible to pick up Onder's Guile down here, which doubles the chance to evade projectiles, which also is really important for our defense, for our survivability. For now, we'll just pick up the life right here. So we will jump from 808 to 842, another 30 life, so that's good. And I just shortly wanted to talk about the Chaos Orb that dropped while we were on our way to Alira. It says it reforges a rare item with new random properties. So you can basically compare this one to an alteration. An alteration reforges a magic item with new random properties. So basically, let's say this topaz ring. We could use an alteration on it, and it would re-roll the values, the two values, prefix and suffix on it. And we could hope to get something better than 14 intelligence on it. This chaos, we could use, for example, you know, if this shield would be the exact base type that we want. Right now, using a chaos doesn't make any sense at all, because you quickly get better items, but once you get to end game, you might get the exact base type of an item that you want with exactly the links that you want, and it is already rare, but the rare is just not a good rare. It has really bad stats. So in that case, you could use a chaos and just try to get a better rare. You know, because you want to keep the base and the links. So that's where you could use it. Chaos is the main currency in a Path of Exile. I would say it's a standard currency that most things are traded for. So to have a couple of chaos is always a good thing, and you'll be able to buy most things in the game, or trade for most things in the game with chaos. Talking about trading, we will, or I will, try to trade for a couple more skill gems that we need once we're done with the bandits. To get there, the next thing that we will be doing is we will go to Crossroads, and we'll head over to this area over here. To get to the area from the waypoint, you can see in Crossroads, you know, you have one way going somewhat upward, one going right and one going down. We already went upward, which leads us to Chamber of Sins. We went downwards, which leads us to the Feldshrine Ruins. So the only way that we haven't explored is towards the right. You don't really have to kill anything in here, you can just run through. This is a zone, level 17 zone, and we're already level 25 at this point, so we don't really get a lot of XP anymore. We have an experience deduction in there if we kill any monsters, because we are over leveled for this zone. Right here, we have 4 level difference, so we still get 100% experience, but it is quite close at this point. So I am quite a bit over leveled because I'm trying to show you guys everything. Here we have, oh, that's actually a relatively dangerous mob. Extra damage, powerful crits. So you want to be careful. You can see how fast this totem went down. That was 2 hits basically. Let's see how hard he hits us. What the? He's just using Enduring Cry. Come on, man. You can attack us. Okay. Try your best. Try your best. He's not hitting. So you can already see the face acrobatics that we picked up are paying off. Well, he's actually not hitting as hard as I thought. But the combination of powerful crits and some sort of damage mod is usually where you should pay close attention and either try to just get a few hits in, and if you're hit, back away and, you know, chuck a pod, or try to divert the damage to some sort of a decoy totem or anything that distracts the mob from hitting you. Okay, these guys have puncture. They have normal melee attacks, but if they hit you with their melee attacks, they puncture. And here we have archers who fire explosive arrow. Here, there you can see. So if they hit you with the arrow, and it's, well, they have normal attacks, so they have a normal ranged attack. You can see that the arrow is not burning if it's a normal attack. But if they hit you with their special attack, which is explosive arrow, you can see that it explodes after a second or two on my person, and it deals additional damage to me. So be careful about that. Here we go. Those are the puncturers. So I am punctured right now, and you know, it's getting stronger, the puncture, so be careful about it. You just follow the road in here, and at some point, oh, I heard another mob type in here. Wonder where they are. Anyway, you can already see here. So we have the boulders, the rocks in here as well. I do hear them. Curse immune. I'm not sure if we've seen that before. So basically, I could try to use my curse. I can use my curse on those guys, but I can't curse this one. So since there are offensive, we've seen those before. There are offensive curses like projectile weakness, where you can increase your damage, and there are also defensive curses like enfeeble. We've seen that being casted on us before. It can be quite dangerous if there's a dangerous mob and you can't cast any curses on it, because that means that you will have to take the normal hits that it deals, and they could be quite dangerous and quite large. So without using a defensive curse, some situations are quite dangerous. So as I said, I'm not killing all of these. You just follow the road until you hit the waypoint at some point. Sure, we want to level Wrath. I thought we would have seen it already. This is actually taking a bit longer than I thought. Okay, so here's the waypoint. And then, since we already ran so far, you can see already on the map that you have this big area that is already shown. This is where you find Kraton. So let's just run up here. And Kraton is the second bandit leader that you encounter. and he has his guys surrounding him as well. So this is the same situation as with Alira. If you talk to him, he tells you that, oh, I heard that you killed Alira, that's nice, so maybe we can work together. And he offers you 8% to resistances. Now you might think that that's actually great, I should take that. I would not recommend you guys doing that. I know it sounds really good, but once you get to higher levels and to endgame, it is relatively easy to max out your resistances just with the gear that you get. So if you take this here, later on in the game you won't have any benefit of it. Initially, while you level, yes, it might help you a bit, but later on it doesn't do anything for you anymore. And that's not what you're looking for. You want something that is good for you all the way through. So what I usually do is I either take the reward that Oak offers you. I already mentioned that Oak gives you 40 life permanently, so that's something that you can always use. Or if my character is not based around life, which sometimes happens, some characters, let me show the passive tree. For example, some characters go for this one here, Chaos Inoculation, where the maximum life becomes 1 and you're immune to chaos damage. So in this case, you center your character around Energy Shield. So you only have 1 life, but you have a large amount of Energy Shield, so that the enemies basically never get to touch your 1 life. If that's the case and you want to plan your character this way, you should kill all 3 of them and get the passive skill tree, the passive point. So again, I would not choose this in any circumstance, to be honest. So what we're gonna do here is we position us, throw some, and then say kill. So okay, let's level. And now let's kill all those mobs around, and then I can say something about Kraton and his attacks. You can see that he is using Flicker Strike, so he is teleporting to you. No, come on, do it. He's just following me around like a doggy. You're supposed to flicker. Here we go. And that is basically, that's all he's doing. He has his melee attack, you know, he's dealing some damage. But there's not much about it. One thing that I should mention about these fights, so at the point when you can decide whether you want to help or kill, this becomes quite important when you're in a party, because you know, once everyone in the party clicks it, this door will close, and then everything that wants to help him, so basically all his friends in here, himself, and also all the players that clicked help, will fight against everybody who wants to kill him. So if you have somebody in your party who willingly or by mistake clicked help and everybody else clicks kill, then it will be PvP. So you can just kill him. Some people use this to actually make some sort of PvP in the game. They would just go into custom or into random parties and just kill people for fun. They knew that everybody would help, so they said kill and just tried to kill as many party members as possible. And I actually personally, I had a friend of mine who was running with another friend of ours, and he was a summoner, and our friend, they went to Oak, and our friend wanted to kill Oak. So he said kill, and the summoner said help, and then once they both clicked it, all his summons, all his zombies, killed our friend within a split second. So you have to be careful. just be sure that everybody in the party is on the same page so that you don't have PvP going on without you actually wanting it. Okay, so this was Creighton. Now we have one bandit leader left, and that's Oak, and that's where we're going next. And he is in the wetlands, so just go back to town, you know, sell some stuff that you picked up, and I'll see you guys in the wetlands. By the way, the two fights that we already had, don't forget to pick up the amulets that they have, because you will need them to get your reward eventually. So Illyra's and Creighton's amulet we already gathered, and now we went back to the wetlands, and as I said, to find the waypoint you follow this stream, and you know, you go up this incline, and you once you basically went up this hill, you follow this stream even further to find the encampment. To find the encampment with Oak. So sure, let's pick this up. Okay, now here you can already see on the map that you have this cliff again, and on one side of it you have to, if you go to the wrong side, the cliff ends and you can basically go up again. So if you find this side, go back, and then you find the entrance on the other side right here. So this is where you're going. We have some bramble cobras again, dealing chaos damage. We've seen those before in the riverways. And you will go in here and you see Oak. Now I will not be fighting him here, I will help. So I just shortly want to roughly explain what happens if you actually do want to fight him. Obviously, all his friends around will start attacking you. You have some ranged and some melee attackers with Warlord's Mark that they will cast on you. Oak himself has Leap Slam, which means he will jump around. We've seen that on Leapers before, on a couple of different ones. So wherever he leaps to, there's like an area of effect damage that he deals. He has Sweep, which is with his staff. He makes a circular motion where he deals damage in a 360-degree radius around himself. So you could basically compare this to this area. So around him in an area like Ice Nova, he deals damage. So that's mainly against, you know, he will jump to you, even if you're a ranged character. You can't avoid all the damage. He will jump to you and then he will use this attack. And then he also has something that is called Immortal Call, which basically he gains endurance charges during the fight, and then he uses this skill called Immortal Call to make himself invulnerable for a certain amount of time. That's usually just a second or so, so it's not too hard to deal with, but just so you know, if there's a certain sign that comes up over his head and you have this bang sound, like a very distinct sound, you know that he's invulnerable for a second or so. So just to let you guys know, again, I will not fight him, so I will help him and he will permanently grant 40 to my life, which is great because I already picked up, this is obviously more than 40 because on the way we picked up here, for example, the nodes with 4% increased maximum life. Over here we have 6% increase, 12%. So all of these percentage increases will further enhance the amount of life that you get. So this is 40, which means this should jump to 882, but instead it will go to 900. So you can see that it makes quite a difference to pick up those nodes. And now don't forget this. So the apex is once you finish the bandit quest, you get the Apex either here or from one of the other bandit leaders, or if you kill all of them, you will get it in town, and you will definitely need this to progress. I've seen even some of my friends who've been playing this game for a long time forget this, and then they had to backtrack. So it will save you a lot of time to make sure that you actually get this item. Okay, so this was basically the bandit quest, and since we're done with this now, the next thing that I want to talk about in this episode, and potentially the last thing because it might take a couple of minutes, is trading and how you actually do the trades. One last thing that I wanted to mention about Oak in the Bandits is that you should see it as your own responsibility to make sure that everybody in the party is on the same page, or that, you know, if there's people who want to kill and people who want to help, that you can accommodate both of them. So you basically would go into the party chat, which is a percentage, and ask them, everyone help Oak or something like that, question mark. That's not the best English, but you know, I'm not in a party right now, so you can't really see me putting that out there, but you could just see if somebody actually doesn't want to, and if you yourself are going, as I showed you guys before, if you're going CI, so Chaos Inoculation, and you don't need the life, you don't need the reward that Oak offers. But in most cases, if you're running with a public party, most of the other members of your party want the life. So you could basically go to the waypoint and control click and start a new instance. So the rest of your party is in the old instance helping Oak, and in this new instance you can go to Oak and kill him. So that's usually how you do it when you play in a party. If you're solo, then obviously it doesn't really make a difference. So since we hit level 25, we can now trade with currency. We are allowed because this was a new account. I had some problems before level 25. So there's two things we can do in trade chat. Let's just go into trade chat right here. So we joined channel 9. Doesn't really make a big difference. Obviously the lower the channel number, if it's channel number 1, then there's more traffic, so you will potentially find more people to buy or sell something from or to. So the two things that, because we because we only have a limited amount of stash tabs, that's what I was saying towards the beginning of the tutorial. We have to make sure that we get rid of, you know, items and gems that we find and we don't want to use ourselves. For example, I have a couple of gems here that I know I will not be able to use on this particular build, so I can sell them. So what I can do is I can just use the trade symbol, which is the $sign, and I can say want to sell, and then with Control, Alt, and click, mouse click at the same time, I can link them one after the other. So I want to sell all of them. Now you could say for, and then, for example, link something that you want for it, for, you know, an orb of fusing. I used to do that, but I realized really quickly that people are just looking at what's offered, and then they will ask you how much you want for it anyway. So it's enough to just link whatever you want to sell, click enter, and then it goes out there. So you can see that Kaisan PoE posted these gems and is willing to sell them. And now to make this quicker, as I showed you guys before, we can go to trade 1, put this back in, trade 2, and so on. So we will just make sure that enough people see our post in different trade channels, and hopefully we will get a response and somebody wants to buy one of them. I will actually try to sell them all for a fusing, which is for most of them a fair price, I think. There's enough people already offering these types of gems for fusing, so if I really wanted to sell them quick, I could offer them for less. But I think it's a fair price. So we'll see if somebody actually messages me. The other thing that you can do in trade chat, and that's what we actually want to do right now, is we want to get another gem that we're missing. And in this case, we want to get a second aura that we will eventually use on this character, on this build. And this one is called Anger. So want to buy Anger. Since we don't have the gem, we can't link it, so we just have to write the name down. And now again, you could say for and tell them how much you're willing to pay. Or what I usually do is I say PM offers. So message me offers, how much you want for it. I can already tell that, I can tell you guys that most people will want a fusing or an orb of alchemy for it. But we can just, let's see what we get. Again, we will post this in a couple of channels to get a response quicker. And let's see what comes out of it. 1 chaos. Okay, that's actually he wants to make some profit off us, because 1 chaos is that's quite steep. 1 chaos is double the value of an alchemy or a fusing. So he basically wants 2 fusings or 2 alchemy for a level 10 gem. So that's somewhat ridiculous. So I'm not even going to answer. That's way too high. So this is how you can first of all, how you can estimate how much people want. It's kind of it's not the best estimate, simply because in this case, if you just post it in trade chat, most of the answers that you will get are from people that want to make a profit off of you. So you will not get the lowest offers through posting it in trade chat. If you want to buy something, then this is where a website comes into play that is called PoE.trade. And we talked about this before, and I will try to get OBS working with the website so I can show you how you can effectively find the low prices and get your items and your gems cheaper. So give me a second, I'll try to figure it out. As a quick warning, this whole thing is really tricky to record for me, because after a certain time my integrated graphics will crash, so I will have to cut this into little pieces so I can record for a while and then start new before my graphic card crashes. This is the website that I was talking about. It's called PoE.trade. And to find an item that you want to buy, you have to choose the right leak, which in our case is Torment. And then you could specify a certain type of item that you want more specifically, and even more specifically, not just saying, you know, I want a bow. You could go into the base type and say, I want a specific bow as well. We are looking for the Anger gem, so we're just gonna put in Anger here, the name. There's a lot of options you can choose from here, but we don't really need any of them right now. The only thing that we want is we want something with a buyout only. That means that all the items that we get listed once we click search will have a specific buyout already with them. So they won't just say, yes, I have the item, but it has no price. All of the ones that are listed, if we turn this on, will have a price right beside them. Now, since we turned this on, we can set a buyout, so something that we are willing to pay. In this case, with gems, I usually start with 1 fusing. Now we can give it a search and see how many we get. And we actually get more than 99 results, which means that there's a lot of people out there who are selling Anger for a fusing or less. So that means we could potentially even narrow our search and try to get a better deal than 1 fusing. So if we go back into the search form, what we could do is we could switch this one on. So that only shows us people who are online at this point in time, and search again. And this gets us down to 39 results. So that's already better. And if we look at them, we see there's one guy here who sells it for 4 alteration, which in terms of value is roughly half of a fusing. So that's a good offer. There's 7 here. Just gonna quickly go through this and check if there's something even better. Okay, here you see there's one item that has anger in its name, but we don't really care about a two-hander. So that could happen if you don't specify the item type. Okay, so this guy is the cheapest. So we will go for the cheapest and we will try to message this guy in-game. To do this, what you do is you get the name here, you copy the name, and then you go back in-game. First of all, to make sure that the item is still there, you can verify it on here and see if it is still there. Yep, it is verified, so that's good. If you already sold it, it will say sold. So back in-game, what we're going to do is we open the trade window, we put at, which is what you do if you want to whisper somebody, and we paste in the name that we just copied and say hi. Okay, so this guy is online, and then I'd like to buy your anger gem, or just anger, please. So he responded right away. That means he's not AFK, and he sends me a party invite right away. So we accept this. We go to our stash. We just get the 4 orb of alteration. So now some people want to meet in Act 1, but most of the people have hideouts at this point. So you go into S, into the party screen here, and you go right click on him and visit his hideout. We'll talk about hideouts more once we get our own. We haven't really done that because we haven't had the chance to do so. Now I went to his hideout and he will send me a trade request. If he doesn't do so, you can right click his name and go trade yourself and send him a request. So we accept this. We just put this in, and we have to hover over the item to make the trade, and then we accept it. So we always have to hover over all the items that the other person puts in, otherwise you can't click trade. It's prohibited. So he wishes me good luck, you too. So always be friendly when you trade. There's nothing worse than a really angry trader that's just spitting angry words at you. And now we have our anger gem. So that's all there is to trading. You just have to find somebody who offers it at a price that you want to buy it, or the other way around. You have to find somebody who wants to buy your items, and the trading itself is pretty easy. So we will try to level this gem right from the start. Let's see if I have something where I can put it in. I have weapon elemental damage here that I'm leveling, and a decoy. I don't think we necessarily need the decoy right now. I rather want to level anger. And I'll put the decoy here. So I always have some, some gems here that if I get another gem slot, that I will put in first into the gem slot. So if I get another red gem slot, I will probably level decoy totem again. So this was trading in terms of buying an item. So if you want to sell an item, it's very similar. So let's look at the ones that we can potentially sell here. For example, let's take Vol Power Siphon, because there's not as many Vol gems out there as the usual gems. So if we want to sell this, how do we price it? How do we know how much it is worth and how much are people willing to buy it for? And here we could go back to PoE.trade, which I'm gonna do right now. We still have the old search on here, so we could say Vol Power Siphon. That should be enough in terms of an explanation, and we still have 1 orb of fusing. We don't need the online one here. We still want people with buyouts and buyout 1 fusing. Okay, let's search for that. I have to make those cuts to be able to record it. And now you can see there's 73 people who offer it for a fusing. Now, to make sure that there's not a lot of people who offer it for less, we could go back into the search form and say, so let's see how many offer it for, I don't know, 6 Orb of Alteration, which is less than a fusing. And search again. There's only 6 people, and there's only 1 online right now. So that means that there's only one possibility for somebody who wants it really cheap to get it right now. And to me, that means a fusing is a fair price. So, you know, if we go back, you can see that it was over 70 people and a couple of them are online. So you probably won't get much more than a fusing for Yuval Power Siphon. So that's why I'm offering it for a fusing, and I think it's a fair price. When it comes to armor and weapons, you might want to use some of these things here as well. So you want to specify your search even more. It gets a bit trickier, but we'll get to that once we actually find an item that we either want to buy or we want to sell that is a bit more specific. So for now, we only need gems, and that's all you guys have to know to buy or sell gems. I know that the episode is already over 50 minutes. I'm sorry about that, guys. I just want to get all about trading in one episode. So one last thing that I want to show in this episode is how we sell items. So I will try to find somebody who will buy one of these gems, and I'll come back once I found one. Alright, here I am. So somebody asked me how much Iron Will go for. So you can right click on his name and whisper. That's one option. Or if you don't have the window open, you can control enter, and it will already put the whisper on for the last person that messaged you. And I will say 1 fuse. And let's see if we get a reply from him. So if he's interested, he might send me a party invite, or just say okay, and then we will send him a party invite. Okay, thanks, I found one. And new to the game. You don't need it then. Always make sure, because this is kind of, I'm not 100% sure what he's trying to tell me with this. You know, and even if people ask for a certain gem, and then they find something that is cheaper, or they just reconsider. Oh, so he just wanted to have a price check of his own gem. Okay, just you know, always be friendly. It's not helping anybody if you're saying like, dude, you know, don't annoy me with that. Sure, no problem. Yeah, okay, so I'll look for somebody who's actually interested in buying. Okay, as you can see from my trade history, I've been spamming different channels for a while now, and I can't seem to find anybody who wants to buy one of the gems that I have. One of the problem is that all the gems that I have right now, they're not really popular gems. So if you have different gems that are a bit more popular, you might have an easier time selling them. I just wanted to show you guys, you know, how the selling works, but it's pretty much the same as the buying. So we're just gonna leave it at that. You can link up to 10 items in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if I tried 11th, it's not working. So if you want to be really efficient about the trading, you should have 10 items that you want to trade, and you can link them all. Okay, so that's all about trading. I just wanted to have this all in one episode, so this is the end of this episode. I hope you guys know how to trade now, and we progressed a bit as well. We did the rest of the Bandit quest, and next episode I will start out with this mission here, which is an optional mission for refund points again, just to show you guys this part of the world, and then we will go on with the story. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I'm sorry that it was a bit longer than expected. Please give the video a like if you liked the video. If you want to support me, you can subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys for the next episode.